podcast. And today, first, let me introduce myself. We are your hostess, Palumi Argandade.
Shania Manny.
And today we're here with a special guest. Really special, what I add.
AP Literature and Competition teacher, Miss Dan.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me, guys. I'm excited to be here with you all, my babies.
Thank you for coming. Coming on the show. And I think first we're going to start because this is a SEL Teachers Talk series that we're starting. And first, Shania, take the floor.
So first we're going to introduce SEL, which is Social Emotional Learning in short terms, which is the process in which individuals learn and apply a set of social, emotional, and related skills and attitudes, behaviors, and values that help direct students on the right path.
Period. Okay, Ms. D.
Yes.
Once again, what does SEL mean to you?
What does SEL mean to me? So SEL to me goes beyond the classroom. It's learning my students, what keeps them, what grows them, what helps them, what aligns with them socially, emotionally, mentally, physically. It's how can I help them be their best selves, just as individuals, as human beings. How can I assist with my students and help them grow in all ways, shapes, forms, fashion? What can I do beyond my teaching ability?
And that's very good.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I am Miss D.
Okay. Hey. Okay. I guess I'm going to ask you the first question. So how do you know your students? How do you show your students that you care about their success beyond academics?
Okay. How do I show my students that I care
Yes.
beyond academics? So I must say that something that you all don't know is that every morning before school starts, I sit and I write in my journal to ensure that I regulate my emotions, because I never want to take out any emotions that you all I just don't want to take my emotions out on you all in any way, shape, or form, especially negatively. So I regulate my emotions first. I think that shows that I care because I'm willing to work on myself. 2, when it comes to you all, I'm willing to listen. I think that I am a great listener. I listen to my students no matter whatever they have to say without any judgment. And I just try to be as welcoming as possible to show that I care, to show you guys that I'm here for you beyond just being the teacher who can teach, but to show you all that I care about about you all holistically.
Pretty good answer. Thank you.
And I think you showed that today when you let us vent to you about our problems.
Yeah, for 5 minutes. Yeah, but I think,
I mean, and sometimes it's necessary to just allow you all to be. I mean, I do have high expectations of you, and you guys know that, do I not?
Yes.
Yes. So every day there's something that is required of you, but I can't just expect you to be robotic either. So I do leave room for you guys to be human. Like you said, I allowed you to vent today, and and I listen.
And
I couldn't talk.
breaks.
Yeah. Well, I don't really give brain breaks.
You did just get brain breaks the last class. It was like a 5-minute brain break after lunch because everybody was tired or something.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Oh, okay.
See, you don't even
I mean,
remember.
I don't, because I don't do it often. But again, I do allow you guys to be human. And I think it's necessary for you guys to showcase that you're human, because I'm human. I hope that you don't think that I come in here every day.
I think you're AI.
You think I'm robotic? Yes. Well, I hope not. I don't want to ever make you guys feel like I am not human, that I don't, give off some form of emotion, because I do. I'm human. I fall short all the time.
Okay. So the next question is, how do you encourage shy or quiet students to participate in class discussions?
It depends. So not all of my classes are the same. I will say in my AP class, you guys know that I have the sticky note method. Some people don't like to ask questions or showcase that they aren't aware of something. So if you write it on a sticky note, you all don't know who it's from, but they know they know that they're asking the question. I just want to make sure that I'm checking for understanding and ensuring that you guys know what you're doing, But if you have a question, I'm willing to answer that question without everyone knowing. So some form of anonymous platform. But with my other students, it just depends. There are different platforms that I've used throughout my teaching. It just depends. And some people may be shy. Some people may write it on their paper as I'm walking around. I'm looking at those things. You guys may not be aware, but I am looking at how you guys are communicating. So if I see that you're not writing anything on your paper, then I may, whisper in a student's ear like, hey, do you understand this?
Yeah.
That way they're willing to show me, or that I'm helping them, showing them, encouraging shy students to get their answers out the way.
Okay. How do you create an inclusive environment where every student feels like they belong?
That's an interesting question. Inclusive, every student belongs. I think that I am, and I hate to keep talking about myself because I really don't like to, but I think that I am a little abnormal myself. So, what I mean by that is I feel like I have so many different interests that I'm able to kind of bring it out in the classroom. Like sometimes you guys will see that I'm excited. I'll start dancing in the classroom. I'll do like a TikTok dance in the classroom. That's aligning with the notes, That's aligning with the notes. So that may be those who like to dance. As you can see, y'all, what's one thing I hate teaching from that I tell y'all all the time?
Like the board.
Well, from the board, I love teaching from the board, but read PowerPoints. I hate reading PowerPoints. I hate it. If I can write on the board all day, I will do it.
Yeah.
But here and there, what do I throw in for y'all?
You throw in the little, when you pop up and you just start writing.
Right.
Girl.
I will pop up and start writing. I'll grant you guys PowerPoints for those who need the PowerPoint. So it's different ways. I'll whisper in some people's ear. And even as I've been doing writing conferences, you see that I'm pulling you guys individually aside so that I can give you that individual feedback. So I'm trying to make everyone feel as though I see you with different ways that I cater to how I teach.
And I think like you have like the way you make us feel included is like you have like different relationships with us. Like you know the likes and the dislikes, the standard you can set us up to.
Most definitely.
To, like pass or not pass. And it's like you don't try to like stress us out to the point that like our limits. Yes, like what we can do to be better and what we can do to like probably like slow down and just stop a little bit.
I appreciate you saying that. That means you observe very well. You're observant. And I hope that I do. I hope that, in all honesty, I do help you guys feel included and encouraged in class.
Thank you.
Yeah. The next question is, what is your approach to giving constructive feedback in a way that motivates students?
I struggled with that. My first few years of teaching, I was rough, y'all. I was rough. So I had to learn how to, when I say rough, I mean, I would just give it straight to kids.
Yeah.
Like not really considering how it would make them feel. Of course, I never want to hurt anyone's feelings, and those were never my intentions. But I had to learn, and that went along with building relationships with my students. As you said, learning you guys individually. Yeah. Whereas some students, I can call them by their first, middle, and last name.
Yeah.
To embarrass them, that will help them motivate them. But there are some kids I know not to do that to at all. So when it comes to criticism, I just had to learn how to build relationship with students and understand what would help them, because I can be rough with some students. I can be very aggressive with some and say, hey, you need to make sure this paper, like, this is ridiculous. This is awful. Well, I shouldn't say those things, but sometimes I can. Whereas some students, my tone and my volume may have to change so that you can get it.
Yeah. Okay. And I also like how like when like during certain writings that we have, like you write like constructive like criticism sometimes, but you do give us feedback on like what we need to do, like what we can do to better, like whatever mistakes it is, and you give us our like pros and cons of like what we did here in this and then what we did bad, or like what we need to work on better. And I like that because like sometimes we don't know how we do, because you do give us a rubric, but it's just like we don't really know what goes on in the teacher's mind when they read the paper or whatever where we give. that you give us. So like when you give us the feedback, I think it really like helps us out because it shows us like where we are in your mindset and like what we need to do to either get better.
Yeah, and I also like how you don't just focus on the negative side. Like you say, you give us the pros and the cons, and I feel like we need that to give us more encouragement to that like we're doing better. And that's one thing I like that you.
Well, I appreciate that.
So how do you handle situations where a student isn't comfortable sharing their concerns?
Concerns just out loud or concerns with them, period?
Like
what do you-
either concerns with the work, concerns with like whatever is going on with them. Like, because I feel like you can see when someone is having a bad day.
Yeah.
Like you can definitely see like you can tell when the energy has like shifted. So like how do you handle situations like that?
So you guys know I have a 1 per week exit, right? You only have 1 week. One day you can use a pass. Once you use it, you But I look at students. Sometimes you guys will never know, but I look at students, and if I see that they're having a rough day, I'll whisper in their ear and say, "Hey, go take a walk and then come back when you're ready." And I don't know if you paid attention to me doing that before, but I do it. And I try to be discreet because I don't want you guys to be aware of their feelings. But also, I will step outside with a student and talk to a student whenever I need to ensure that they feel encouraged. And sometimes I know that my assignments can be very difficult and draining and make you guys feel as though you're not doing things right. But like today, I came in and I said, I've decided to push back the poetry analysis because I just sense that you guys felt overwhelmed. And I know that if you're overwhelmed in class, then you won't be able to give me your best work. So pushing it back, of course, I don't want to. Not that I don't want to, but it wasn't a part of the plan. But I can sense the energy. And with that form of energy, you guys wouldn't be able to give me your best in class. If you wouldn't have been able to give me your best in class today. And also, when Friday comes, you wouldn't be able to give me your best poetry analysis that I would desire. So sometimes just hearing that news made you guys work harder today in class. I don't know if you noticed that, but just hearing that, it was like, okay, well, now I know I have a little bit more extra time. So let me work harder on this and plan this out.
And that's like, it's no offense to cut you off, but I like how you did the draft and then like you offered like bonus points. Yeah, I like to beat the bomb. You should do that more often.
I think you should because I feel like that gave students to, like you said, work harder and actually do the work and, because they know it's going to benefit them. They're going to get points.
Right.
It's going to help them.
Well, can I be honest why I did that?
Why?
So I put you guys in groups that you possibly wouldn't have felt comfortable in. It wasn't with people you typically talk to all the time or work with all the time. Like if I say, oh, do this with your elbow partner, I know who you're going to choose. So I was trying to choose people, of course, people who you will still feel comfortable with, but you don't typically talk to. Yeah. And I think it would have been awkward if you guys were just sitting there like, I don't really want to. But if I had made it a challenge, then it's like, okay, let's work together a little bit more. So that's why I did that. A little psychology, reverse psychology.
Okay, so the next question is, how do you balance being approachable when maintaining classroom boundaries?
Ooh, that's a rough one too. There are some days I just have to be stern. Like I know students want to talk to me in the morning and I don't mind it. I will give it about 5 minutes. But once I see that the hallways are becoming packed, then it's like, I need you guys to get to class. I know you want to talk to me and I know you want to start off your morning with me and I want to be there for you too. But I had to learn balance early on as a teacher because, it's important. It is important to build relationship with students. If students feel like they can get away with everything with you, they really respect you.
Right.
So I had to learn to put in boundaries in different ways. But it wasn't an immediate thing. I had to learn that throughout my teaching.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that all teachers should learn because I just feel like some students want to teacher allow a student to do something and feel like it's okay.
Right.
You have a routine.
Yeah, and then when a teacher finally bounces, but and That is.
It's too late.
Yeah,
Okay.
get that point.
But you guys notice a lot of things about teachers. What are some things that you feel like you appreciate? And it doesn't have to be me. I don't necessarily want it to be, but boundaries that you appreciate. But boundaries that you all appreciate.
Well, I do like well, I have to use you so that.
Well, I mean, I just do what I do.
So I do like how like like we can tell when it's like Miss D is being stern. Like we can tell when you're being playful, like your horrible joke. Can I celebrate that?
You want me to tell one?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. By all means, you should tell them what you told today.
All right, so let me tell the one I told today. All right, so how much does a rainbow weigh?
How much?
Have a rainbow.
Not much. It's pretty light. Whatever.
Horrible. Where are you getting your jokes from? Like seriously.
You know, I've been telling jokes for a long time. I feel like if I wasn't a teacher, I should probably be a comedian. Don't you?
I really think like your jokes, the jokes that you told in the past, like you need to start like tallying it. Like to be like, oh, they laugh. Count how many people laugh at it. Yeah, like your prior schools. Write it down.
In
put
essence,
Sally
I
Knights
feel
next
like
to
you
it.
guys laugh every day, and if you don't, you want to. So I give myself a tally every day anyway. But I was sorry to cut you off. You said my jokes, and you can tell when I'm being stern.
Yeah. We can definitely tell when you're being stern. Like it's not like you can tell when you're like bubbly, light, airy, but then like when it's starting to get close to like the poetry analysis or like whatever serious essay or work, which every time is serious, but we can definitely tell the difference. We can differentiate it. And I like the boundaries that you do create. Like we obviously know to like have fun with you, respect you, just that. But it like I said, we have to like respect you because at the end of the day, you're not I'm not going to say you're not our friend, but like we have to realize that you are the adult in the room. And like we have to give you your respect and your courtesy because
You don't have to, but I appreciate that you do.
we have to.
I agree with what Palumi says, but it's another teacher named Miss Jones. She has that like kind of relationship that we have with you where we can like tell you anything. But she also has that like, how should I say it?
Like buddy relationship. I don't want to say exactly buddy, but it's just like you feel comfortable enough to tell her.
Expressing yourself.
Yeah,
It's good. It's good. I'm glad that you guys have places. No, I'm serious. I'm glad that you all have safe places at school where you can talk to people. It's important.
Oh, well, thank you. So, how do you encourage students to work together and value each other's contributes? Like an example, how we did today, like where you made a step outside of our comfort zone.
I did. I know that AP students typically just like to work by themselves. They're like, you know what? I don't want I don't want my grade to be affected by your nonsense. It just depends. It depends on what the assignment is and how I can get you guys to push. So with where I can incorporate collective aspects, I will. With where I think that you all need to work individually, I will push that. But you guys have worked on a lot of individual work, especially as we're preparing for your poetry analysis next week. You had a constructive response. That was individual, right?
Yes.
You received your feedback from me. That was individual.
Yes.
I let you guys work in pairs with people you were comfortable with to work on the revise. Right. The multiple choice and revising and talking to each other. That was something that you're comfortable with. But everything shouldn't be comfortable. And I really want you guys to do very well. So I put you in those groups for you guys to be able to communicate. Here's why. Some people can articulate themselves very well and break down the poem. Some people do it better writing. So having that conversation with each other helped the verbal person be able to write it articulate or be able to write it clearly, help the person who's able to write it clearly be able to articulate it clearly. So that's how I don't know if you noticed in your group, your person was able to articulate. She's able to articulate verbally very well. So I put that group there deliberately and kind of pushed you guys.
Yeah, what about the other person?
I'm working. I'm doing my best because I want that individual to grow. Okay, so I can't just give that individual feedback, you know what I'm saying? Without expecting some interaction. Because sometimes, let's be fair, not every student's going to learn from me. They may learn from you all.
Yeah.
So we have to consider that too. And that's how I, think through formulating groups. Now, if I know students won't do anything, then I'm going to, I won't let that affect y'all if you notice that too.
Yeah. That's why you told us to erase their name if they didn't do one word. Okay, what techniques do you use to help students resolve disagreements during group work?
Techniques I use to help students resolve disagreements.
Yeah. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Because remember when we were doing the, I don't know what we're doing. Yeah, the multiple choice. I think you were trying to be a little funny, putting all of the above in there to kind of throw us off.
And they were all of the above, actually.
I think you really helped us out with that because, like, me and my group, we were, like, debating whether it is all of the above or whether it wasn't. And I feel like you actually came around, like, you were walking around, you could hear us literally arguing with it. And I feel like you kind of let us, like, calm down. Not calm down, but, like, you let us kind of argue it through because I feel like it kind of inspires you to see the students, like, argue about the work.
Yeah,
it was right or if it was not right. And I feel like at the end of the day, we later, like, I wouldn't necessarily call it a disagreement. I mean, it is a disagreement, but it wasn't like a serious disagreement. I feel like kind of just let us and see how it plays out. I think that's what you do.
I think there's beauty in struggle. It doesn't always feel good to struggle, but you guys were able to have beautiful conversations based on the work. Now, I know that if it were to be something problematic, then of course I would have to separate you all, but I didn't feel that way. So I think that how do I help students? Maybe I let you all struggle and I let you all find your voice. And I let you all be able to come up with solutions on your own by just letting you do it. I don't think that I have to tell you, hey, this is how. I let you, again, be human. Now, if it was something to your detriment, then I will have to separate you guys. But in life, do we all agree on everything? No. So sometimes just letting you work it out is beauty. It's beautiful to see you all work well and figure out how to find solutions.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your approach to addressing conflict rooted in cultural or personal differences among students?
My approach. I think that ties in with the last question. It's just letting you all be yourselves. We're all different people. We all have different aspects to bring to Therrell. We all have different aspects to bring to the classroom. And I think that if I respect you all and showcase how important or how highly I think of you, then you'll be comfortable enough to bloom in that area. So, I mean, just let you be you.
So I have one question. So how do you repair trust with a student if a conflict has strained your connection?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, what if a student does something like you tell them not to do, and they do this like on multiple occasions, right? And like you're starting to like the bond is not long. I'm not gonna say it's no longer there, but it's like you no longer set them up to the standard that you used to before, or like the standard has gone down. Like, how do you build that trust back up, or how do you repair it?
I never back down.
Never.
Or like or like trusted students, like they lied to you basically about something, like,
because I think most teachers, they get really angry when like a student lies to them, especially one that they trusted.
Have you guys really seen me like angry or yelling? I leave room for growth. Okay. If you lie to me, I would hope that you will come up and say, you know what, I I trust you and I respect you enough to say that, I shouldn't have lied at that time. I would hope so. But I don't think I reprimand lying. I would hope and pray that you don't, but I don't reprimand lying. What I do, I also don't think that I back down from my standard either. I have caught students cheating, utilizing ChatGPT and things of that nature. But that doesn't mean I lower my expectations. That means I leave you to it. I give you the grade that you've earned, and give you a little talk and say, hey, let's do better the next time. This time there's some form of consequence. I don't know if that's reprimanding, but this is a consequence. But I'm never going to yell at you guys and make you feel worthless because you've done something. You're human.
I think the student athletes, like, you talk to their coaches a little too much, but
I do. I mean, I try. I mean, we're a community. We're a community. All teachers are community. If a student has a better relationship with another teacher, then why not try that? I do give suicides to my students. I write it on the board and make them run. It's something that I utilize for my athletes, a lot of the male athletes. But yeah, I don't think I ever back down on my expectation. Just because a student chooses not to rise doesn't mean that I'm going to change it and say, I'm going to lower my expectation for you. I don't think that I'm going to keep nagging you. Y'all see that I nag the same old students.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep nagging. My expectations don't change.
Oh, okay. So how do you ensure students know you respect and value their individuality?
I don't know what you guys tell me.
I say that, like, you leave, like, you let us be ourselves around you. Like, you don't judge. You don't judge. Don't do any of that. It's like a free space, and we're AP kids, so it's like, I don't know. You give us time to. I don't know.
You give us time to grow. I think, like, everybody is different. Like, personalities are different. And that's why the fact that we're students, I feel like you give us our own respect. Because that's one thing I don't like. I don't like when, like, adults, just because we're, like, younger, like, they don't give the same respect. Because I feel like respect goes both ways, regardless of the age difference. And I really think that you do respect us, and that you respect us by coming up, showing up every single day, having the same energy. Not like, because we know that you have a life outside of work. Not letting your life outside of work affect us in school. And you said that by journaling down. But we could definitely tell. Even if you didn't tell us, we could definitely tell. And we give you your props.
Spades. No, that this is a piggyback off of that. I do respect my students. You guys are human beings. And it's not just AP students that I treat this way. I treat all of my students this way, that they can be themselves. I want you guys to be your authentic self. Now, do I allow students to just cuss and no, I don't do that. But because they respect me, they don't. Or if they catch themselves, they'll say, you know what, I'm sorry, Ms. D, I didn't even, you know what I'm saying? But that's a part of just being able to approach your students and meet them where they are. Again, like you said, I respect you. I really do respect you guys.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, Ms. D, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you, Shania and Palumi, for just giving me this platform and letting people see that, teachers aren't perfect, but, we have place to grow. But we appreciate you guys seeing us through. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
I just have one word. Like, I want you to give a tip to the teachers, because a lot of teachers be wondering how you get us to get up our phones and how we're only able to do that in your class right now. And did you know that
teachers want to know that?
Yeah.
Oh, two things I will say. Two things. Consistency matters. How you start is how you finish. If you notice, first day of school, before you knew me, I set my expectations.
Yeah.
I set my expectations that phones weren't allowed. And I didn't what? Back down. No. I did not back down. No matter how much you try to sneak, I'm not backing down. But also, two, I think that I create a space or want to create a space in my classroom where you wouldn't feel the need to touch it.
Yeah.
I feel like you do.
You know what I mean? Yes, I feel like, when do I sit down? When do you guys see me sit down? I am up.
Never.
Right.
I think you do need to sit down sometimes. Everybody needs a break, honestly.
I'll take a break when I go home, but I'm up and I'm moving because we have something to do. But I feel like if I'm engaging you and I'm expecting you to be off of your phone, I'm not here to entertain you, and I don't entertain you, but I'm engaging with you. When do you guys see me on my phone? I have the same expectation for myself. If you ever see me on my phone, you know it's an emergency. If you ever have an emergency, you know you can step out and utilize it. So I model, and I'm consistent. I'm not going to back down from my expectations because I'm consistent. So I guess that's a tip. But I think that building relationship with students too is important.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And I guess this is the end of this episode. Thank you. Once
See you guys later.
See you guys later. Bye bye bye.
Thank you guys.